Good day, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Inbound Marketing has a Recruitment Strategy. Today, what we're going to talk about is using inbound marketing to increase your recruitment success. So first of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Andrea Catazon, and I'm the president of Senior Living Smart. I've been in senior living operations for 25 plus years, both at the community level and also as the VP of a corporate. And I have to say that in every position for the last 25 years, recruitment has continued to be a struggle. And now today I want to talk about a new tool that we have that can really make a difference in your recruitment strategy and you can use in your recruitment toolbox. So first of all, I just want to go over briefly what we're going to review today. First, I want to talk about what is outbound and inbound marketing and what's the difference. Just important to understand as we look at how to use inbound marketing as a tool. Next, we're going to look at how specifically we can use inbound marketing as a recruitment strategy. And then we're also going to talk about what are the 5 steps that you have to do to make sure you're setting up a successful inbound marketing campaign. And then last, we're going to go outside the industry and we're going to look at some best practices from companies outside of senior living. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing I think it's important for everyone to understand is 95% of the people that companies want to hire for your critical roles are not actually the ones looking for a job. So many times the people who are searching for jobs are not going to be your top talent. So how do you develop relationships with folks who are not currently looking for a job? And then how do you let them know that they would be much better off working for you and your company? So that's what the problem that we're going to solve by talking about inbound recruiting. So first of all, let's talk about the difference between inbound versus outbound marketing. So outbound marketing is your job postings, your paid advertisement, or third-party recruiter. So just picture that you're going to go fishing. And you jump in your boat, you grab a net, and you randomly go off into a part of the ocean and you drop your net, okay? You pick up the net and you see what you get. And it could be small fish, no fish, all different types of fish, okay? What inbound marketing is it actually, you say to yourself, all right, so what is the type of fish that I want to get today? So let's say we're going sword fishing. So you're going to try to get the biggest swordfish. And then you're going to want to look at, well, where do the swordfish hang out? Okay, so they hang out in this part of the ocean, and that's where we're going to take our boat. But then the next thing you have to try to figure out is what bait are you going to use to catch that swordfish? So you have your bait, you have your location, and you go ahead and you're at the right spot with the right bait, and hopefully you come home with your swordfish. So basically, inbound marketing is attracting new prospects to your company, engaging with them, and creating opportunities to see if there's a match. So let's look at it this way. Okay, you have your inbound marketing, which we talked about is paid advertising, job posting, third-party recruitment. It's usually you reaching out, okay, you throwing that net out. What inbound marketing is more like is, think of it as kind of a magnet. And so you're going to use articles, ebooks, professional events, and most importantly, you're going to use your company benefits and your company culture to actually attract that top talent like a magnet. So hopefully that makes sense and everyone understands what the difference between inbound and outbound marketing is. So let's talk specifically about inbound recruiting. So say, for example, you are going to buy a pair of boots for summer hiking. So if you do what most of us do, you go online and you go onto Google and you type in best hiking boots. Now, the first kind of things you're going to see are those paid ads and maybe the listing of a few stores, but you're a smart web buyer and you're a smart web researcher. So you're going to scroll down a little bit and you see an article on how to choose the best hiking boots for summer. Bingo, That's exactly what you're looking for. So now you're attracted to that site. So you click on and you read the article and you think this is a great article. And at the end of an article, you see this little button that says download our new guide. And the guide they want you to download is Best Summer Hikes in New England, which is perfect because you live in New England, you love to hike, and you're hoping to get new hiking shoes. So you go ahead and you click on that call to action, you click on that button to download their guide, and they're going to ask you probably for your name and your email. That's kind of the value transition here. So you see enough value in wanting that guide that you're going to give them your email, which has a lot of value. So you go ahead and do that. And then over a course of a few months, you get these random emails, and they're usually articles, best ways to waterproof your boats. And you continue to click on and read their articles. And then they send you this link in an email that says, check out our new product. There's hiking boots that scare away bears. So you click on and you're so excited about this new product and you trust them because they've always given you valuable information and you don't like bears when you go hiking and they meet all your criteria, and so you go ahead and buy these boots and you're happy. So now though, the company doesn't give up. They've attracted you, they've engaged you, you've bought in their product, and now they're going to delight you. So they survey you to make sure that you like your boats, and you like your boots, and they check in to see, are they just the best boots you ever bought? Then they also ask you to post hiking experiences on their website. Please tell us about these great hikes you're having in our new boots. And then they ask you to recommend a friend. And if you do, you'll get a free waterproofing kit. So now you're a delighted customer and you're going to keep telling your stories and telling your friends, and you're going to keep what they call it attribution marketing is, so by you being excited about your product, you're going to market for the company. So that's kind of the whole philosophy around inbound recruiting. It's using ads, videos, blogging, social media to attract the customer. It's engaging with them with email marketing and calls to action, and then delighting them, because we can't forget, once we get them, we want to make sure we're still delighting them. So let's talk a little bit about what steps you need to set up your recruiting strategy through inbound marketing. So step one, it's really important, is to have a comprehensive plan of who you want to attract. So before you start, decide on which positions you want to try to attract. Do you want to focus on the executive level and above? Do you want to just recruit for executive directors? Do you want to recruit for regional or corporate folks? Or do you also want to use inbound marketing to source nursing, sales, community sales team, and care staff? So this is all very important to make sure that the first thing you do is figure out who is it that you want to focus on with your inbound marketing strategy. Now, step two, you have to define your persona. And you have to do a different persona for every type of candidate that you're going to want to attract. So your persona is going to be different for each role you're looking to hire. ED, community nurse, sales director, are all going to have very different personas. So first we want to do is, as you are looking to define your persona, think about the characteristics you're looking for an ideal candidate. So the first thing, of course, you're going to have is an educational background. So if you're looking to hire a nurse, you want that person to have a nursing degree. If you're looking for an ED, maybe you want that person to be college educated. And then you want to have some idea of previous experience. And then if you need to, is there some technical requirements that you need? For instance, do they have to be proficient in certain software? But the most important thing right here is, what are the traits and skills of successful employees that you currently have. Those are going to help you identify your personas better than anything else. So interview your top talent. Find out what traits and skills they have in common. And also ask about hobbies and interests that they may have in common. I worked with a company that was looking at hiring top performing sales folks. And they interviewed their current sales directors and found out that 89% of their sales team were members of a local gym. So what they tried to do, or what they actually did, was offer a free 30-day membership to a local gym, has an opportunity to attract applicants that are like the ones that are currently successful. So really take a look at who's your top talent that you currently have and try to figure out what are the traits and skills that they have in common that you want to use as bait, actually. Okay, so step 3. How do you describe your culture? So this is really important, and we'll talk a little bit more about the benefit of culture when you're recruiting, but think about your company culture. So what does success look like in your company? For some companies, success is being the biggest. They want to have the most senior living communities. For some, it's about having the best resident satisfaction surveys. For many, it's about occupancy. But think about, as a team, how do you define success in your company? And then the other question to ask yourself is, what are the company non-negotiables when it comes to character and performance? Is it integrity? Is it honesty? Is it professionalism? Think about what are the absolute non-negotiables that you want from an applicant. Interesting enough, I worked for a company that fun was one of their non-negotiables. If you did not have a sense of humor and not enjoy having fun, and also you had to be able to make fun of yourself, they weren't interested in you. So really think about what are the non-negotiables that make up part of that to help define your culture. Okay. The other thing that's a really great exercise to go through when developing your personas is, what are the top 10 words you would use to define your culture? Is it honesty? Is it joy? Is it care? Is it professionalism? So just write down the top 10 words you would use to define your culture. And put these together to look at, this is going to help you when you're looking at what you're going to use to attract the top talent. So really important to be able to not only define your culture, but to be able to vocalize what your culture is. Okay, so let's move on to step 4. And unfortunately, you can't skip any of these steps. You can't jump over any of them. You've got to take the time, and this is time involved. But in the end, you'd rather put the time in up front and not waste your time with applicants that are not a good match for you. So take the time to go through each step. Step 4 is create relevant content. So Career Builder told us that 75% of job seekers start their search on Google. Okay, so it's important that you're going to have an online presence and that online bait to attract the top talent that you're looking to attract. Okay, so you're going to create this content that you want to engage your prospects. So this can include why you are the best company to work for. Associate testimonial videos are great. It's from another employee. It can be short and honest, and it's also very impactful. Educational content is great. And you also have to look at what are the best channels to connect with your prospective candidate. So educational content can be, let's say, ebooks, white papers, tip sheets. And these can be, leadership-based, dealing with people who don't listen, or how to make time for learning when there's no time to think. I'm sure we can all relate to that one. Dare to have those tough questions. So these are all topics that anyone that is either in a management position or wants to grow into a management leadership position are going to want to learn about. If you're looking at nursing or CNA, you know, how to be patient with, you know, difficult residents, or what are the signs you need to look at when someone may be having issues with memory. So you just want to create that relevant content that's going to attract that candidate. Step 5 is build relationships. So once someone reads your articles, clicks on your call to action, downloads your ebooks, your guides, your videos, you're going to want to keep in touch with them. Okay? You're going to want them to keep coming to the site, and you're going to want to keep introducing them and teaching them about your brand and your culture. You've got to remember, especially today, it takes a lot of energy to apply for a job, whether it's filling out the application on paper or online. It's a big step. And to go through the interview over the phone process, and then bringing someone in, and sometimes you bring candidates in a couple of times and they meet with very different people. So it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time for someone to apply for a job. So if you have a candidate that you think is going to be great for your company, but they're not actually looking for a job, you have to build that relationship so that they trust you and they want to be a part of your company and your values and your culture. So let's talk about some ways to connect. There's videos, associate testimonies we talked about, those are great. Community tours, show people where they're going to be working. Also, what's very impactful is tell your company story. Oftentimes, founders of senior living communities have these great stories about why they got into the industry and what problems they were looking to solve and what it personally meant to them. Those are great stories. We talked a little bit about educational material, whether it's blogs, CEUs, ebooks, webinars, white papers, lots of things that you can do to attract that leadership individual, or that person that wants to continue to grow and learn. The e-newsletter is key, because that's how you kind of stay in touch, give your company updates, and continue to introduce them to your culture. And your social channels. Use all of your social channels to attract and engage. So it could be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and make sure you're using your own website. It has a great opportunity to educate potential applicants about your culture and why you are the best place to go work for. And if you don't have an open position, don't wait until you do. Keep those candidates nurtured through stay in touch campaigns, through e-newsletters, and just continue to make them want to come and work for you. So the next thing I want to show you is a video. So video is king. And if you go on YouTube and you put in the search employee recruitment videos, you're going to have a whole range of videos. Most of them are tech companies. Some are very long, some are humorous, some are very professionally done. But having a recruitment video is very important nowadays, because a lot of people, that's where they go to get their information. So when somebody's trying to get information about your company, they're going to Google you, they're going to look on YouTube, and probably Facebook, and see what people are saying and what you're putting out there. So this is an example of a pretty good recruiting video. It's short. That's one of the reasons why I really like it. It's real people, real employees, real customers in a real work setting. So let's check out Nugget Markets.
It's not just a grocery store. It's a great company that really values and recognizes and appreciates everybody.
it's the people that work at Nugget, they're the Nugget's biggest fans.
Everybody's enthusiastic and they come to work with a smile on their face and everybody says hello to you. It's a great place to work.
Well, a lot of people think it's just, like you said, scanning items and bagging groceries, but there's a lot more to it.
If I'm outside of work and I meet people, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a cheese specialist at Nugget. And they're like, oh, what? You're a cheese specialist? We have trained chefs who have been to culinary school, gone through these crazy restaurants.
If you like numbers, you can be in accounting. If you like dealing with people, there's human resources. If you like solving problems, there's just so many different paths you can take, all under the umbrella of a grocery store.
I really like it. Be ready, willing to learn, and yeah, we'll take you there.
All we're doing is selling groceries, right? But it's much more than that here at Nugget.
Just apply.
So, great video, short, fun, and you really got to see the real customers and the real people and their personality and why they enjoy working there. So it's a good example of a very successful video. Next thing I want to do is go ahead and look at some ideas from outside the industry. So Spotify is the music service, and what one of their goals was to increase the number of female technicians that work for their company. So what they did was they sponsored the Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Tech. And this is a great example of how you can use event marketing to attract qualified candidates. Now, granted, event marketing can be expensive, but if you're going to get some great candidates and some top talent, it may be something that you want to look at how you manage to put that in your budget. Another great example of an outside the industry is the Lockheed Martin Talent Network. So Lockheed Martin, extremely large company, what they do is they have a talent network. So they help when someone applies for the job, and if maybe there's not a position open yet, they help the person, they invite the person to join their talent network, okay? So they keep the person engaged, they offer opportunities, maybe it's once a month or once a quarter, that they can talk to other technicians and other members of the Lockheed Martin team. They continue to share information about the company and about the events and what they're doing. It makes that individual feel, I'm part of the talent network, which is great. Makes them feel good, and it keeps them connected, it keeps them engaged, and it helps to nurture them. So it's a great thing to do, especially if you don't have an open position but don't want to be starting from scratch when you do get that open position. Okay, so next thing I just want to talk about is a survey that the LinkedIn Talent Survey Group did. And what they did was they asked a group of people, I think a very large survey that they did. Which of the following is the most important if you were to consider a new job? 56% said the company has a reputation, has a great place to work. So more than half said the most important thing is the company has a reputation, has a great place to work. And the only way companies get reputations for being a great place to work is for having a great culture. So I can't emphasize how much culture plays in recruiting. If you look at what made up the other half of the survey response, 20% says the company has a great reputation for products and services, 17% the company has a reputation for great people, and 7% the company has a reputation for being prestigious. So we know that culture is very important. So I just want to show you an example of an email that if you want to, you have your list of people that have applied. You want to keep them engaged. You want to continue to tell them about your company, your culture, your benefits, what other people in your company are saying about you. So this is just a quick email, just says, hey, we had a successful training, And almost every company does ED meetings and trainings, corporate meetings. Show them pictures of how it went and why it was successful. And maybe invite them to an opportunity to talk with some of the EDs or some of the corporate staff. And then don't forget to tell them we've just posted some new job openings, so come on ahead and apply. So this is a great way to start that conversation. So great, we've wrapped up our webinar today, and I want to thank you all for attending. First, just want to see if anybody has any questions. Great. One of the questions is, what is the software you use for the inbound marketing, I think is what they're asking. So there is tons of software out there in terms of putting inbound marketing into place. And there's all levels. Some are more automated than others, some are more comprehensive than others, but don't ever think that you cannot afford inbound marketing. It's almost something that companies today need to have for both their marketing and recruiting. And feel free to reach out to us and we can connect you with the best marketing automation software that fits your needs and your budget. So that's a great question. Thank you. So another question that came in is, where do you get content? So content, you can purchase it through a copywriter. You can look at someone internally in your organization that may be a good writer and an expert on a certain area. And it doesn't have to be a whole ebook. You can do just simple blogs and articles on experiences in the senior living industry, the things that you've learned. You can do also webinars that are quick on an area that you're an expert on. And then also, if you are able to get a speaker to offer CEUs, that's a great opportunity to attract folks and engage them. The next question is e-newsletter part of marketing automation? And yes, you can set up the marketing automation, the inbound marketing, so that the content in your e-newsletter goes out to all of your folks on your list who have applied for jobs and who you're looking to engage and looking to continue to share content about your culture, your benefits, and your company. So I think that's it for questions. Thank you again for attending and have a great day.